What's up creatives, Seb here. So in today's video we're going to be talking about slow motion. So I'm going to be showing you how to easily add slow motion to your videos in Premiere Pro. So there are two proper ways to add slow motion to your videos in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to be showing you those methods, and I'm also going to walk you through the different slow motion speeds depending on if you're shooting at 120 FPS or 100, if you're shooting at 60 or 50, and then finally if you're shooting at 30 or 25 FPS. But you know the drill. Before we get started, if you are new here, welcome. My name's Seb. This channel is all about videography, video editing and photography. I'm all about posting high quality short form content, so if it does sound interesting to you, then do consider hitting the subscribe button and liking the video if you haven't already. But now that we've gone all of that out of the way, let's head over to the editing desk and get on with the video. So welcome to the editing desk. Before we get started with the slow motion tutorial, I do want to quickly make a quick note about the different formats you can shoot with your camera. So if you hear me talking about 25, 50 or 100 FPS and you're confused why I'm not saying 120 FPS, 60 or 30, it's because I'm shooting in PAL format and not NTSC. So if you're shooting in Europe, you'll most likely be shooting in PAL. If you're shooting in America, then you'll most likely be shooting in NTSC. Okay, so I've gone ahead and opened up Premiere Pro, and as you can see, I've added 3 different clips. So we've got one at 50 FPS, the other's at 100, and then the last one is at 25 FPS. So first I'm going to show you how to add slow motion the normal way, and then if you want to add slow motion to your clip at 25 FPS, I'm going to show you that at the end of the video. Now quickly, before we get started, make sure you set your sequence settings to the correct FPS. So to do this, head over to sequence and then sequence settings. So because I shoot my footage in PAL, I'm shooting at 25 FPS, but if you're shooting in America, you'll be shooting at 30 FPS. So set your timeline accordingly. So I'm going to set it to 25 FPS, then I'm going to press OK. Now to add slow motion to your clip, there are 2 different methods. The first one is the normal speed way. So the quickest way to do this is actually by pressing R, and then that will bring out your stretch tool. And if you actually just click on your clip and then extend it, it'll then add slow motion to it. But I won't recommend this method too much unless you want to have a precise slow motion, but it is pretty useful. For example, if I just wanted to extend my clip to reach this clip, I'll press R, and then there you go. I've got about 69% slow motion, so it can be quite useful in these scenarios. But if you bring our clip back to its normal frame rate, the real way you do it is by right clicking and then go to speed, and then you'll be able to add slow motion to your clip. Now, because this is only a 50 FPS clip, the maximum we should really only be slowing it down to is about 50%. So because obviously our timeline is 25 FPS, the footage is 50 FPS. So if we divide 50 FPS by 2, that equals 25 FPS, which means we'll be able to slow it down by half the speed. So then if we press play, you can see that we've got smooth slow motion playing back at 25 FPS. So that's the third method done. Let's head over to the 100 FPS clip. So to do this, all you have to do is right click on this little FX button right here, hover under time remapping and then speed. It'll then change your clip to this little slider right here. So actually make this a little bit bigger so we can see. If we bring this slider up, it'll speed it up by this percentage. And obviously if we bring it down, it'll slow it down to this percentage. Now the maximum we can slow down 100 FPS is by 25%. So here you can see that we've got some ultra slow motion, which is really nice. But a nice effect we can do with time remapping is actually speed ramping. So if you grab your pen tool right here, you'll then be able to add markers, or alternatively, if you have your cursor out, you can just press Control and then you can add a marker by just clicking on this slider. So essentially this marker is just a keyframe for that point of the clip. And say for example, on our clip, we wanted to start slowing down at this point right here, and then we wanted to speed it back up to its normal speed at this clip here. So what we can do here is just bring down this slider right here. So let's do 25%. We'll try and get to 25. And then here you'll see it'll be playing at real time, then it slows down. And then once it gets to this section, it'll then speed it back up to normal speed. So you can see that's quite a nice way to add slow motion to your clip. And to top this off, if you actually click on these markers and then you drag it out, it'll then add a little bit of a speed ramp. And you can actually extend this curve right here to make it smoother or harsher, however you want it. And then as you can see, if we play it back normal speed, slow motion, it's got a gradual slowdown at this little section, and then it speeds it back up. So if we smooth it out on this section right here as well, extend that so it's nice and smooth. Let's give it a quick playback, and then slow motion, and then back to normal speed. So those are the 2 methods to add slow motion with 50 FPS or 100 FPS. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to add slow motion to 25 FPS. So it's similar to the first method. You just right click, go to speed, and then because we're shooting at 25 FPS, we can't actually slow it down by too much, because for example, if we do it at 50 FPS, you can see that the frames aren't very smooth. So if we go back, bring it back to 25 FPS, right click, go back to speed, And then I would recommend setting it to 70. That's probably the maximum you can stretch it out to make it smooth. And then under time interpolation, you want to change it from frame sampling to optical flow. So what optical flow actually does is kind of interprets your footage and kind of predicts what the next frame will be, because you're shooting at 25 FPS, you can't actually slow it down too much. But I found that if you use it at about 70%, use optical flow, you'll then have some pretty smooth slow motion with 25 FPS. So those are the methods to add slow motion to your clip, whether it's 100, 50 or 25 FPS. Let's finish off the video on the other camera. There you go, that's how you can easily add slow motion to your videos in Premiere Pro. If you found this video helpful, then do consider liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget you can join the Creators Club Discord server in the description down below, so you can connect with a bunch of other like-minded creatives. But that's all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.